All right. Welcome to the open mic show, guys.
Uh,
I'm your host, Mr. 312, Michael P. Bright, uh, many other names, but what's going on here? Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. All right, we're
There
good.
we
I don't know
go.
what happened. Um, you know. Um, so I'd like to introduce my guests. We have Ruben Kiki, DJ and photographer.
Peace.
We have Mike. What's that?
I said peace.
Oh, peace. Okay. Uh, we got my guy Mike Vinopol. Right, right. I said the last name correct.
yeah, it's good, man. You good?
Uh, man of many bands. Uh, man, man of many bands. And then we have Mr. Cloud B, aka my brother.
What's up?
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you,
What's
thank
up,
you,
bro?
thank you. So today's topic is how art changes or impacts social change. So I got a few questions, and it's basically be open forum. So whoever wants to go first, and we discuss, and we just kind of roll it from there. And then every so often, we'll go back and check into these other questions I have. So, or topic matters, I should say, not even questions. So, anyways, um, first of all, let's see what we got. Um, so yeah, we'll start with how art. How do you guys feel art impacts social change?
Go ahead, Kiki.
Oh, okay. You guys want me to go first? Yeah, ladies first. Okay.
Anyways,
um, I'm just getting a little bit of a lag, audio lag, but you guys can hear me clearly.
yes.
Okay, good, good. I am getting a little bit of a lag from you guys, so I hope that doesn't ruin anything right now. I think music and art definitely have a enormous, tremendous impact on social change. There's a lot of, I feel that there's a lot of responsibility as artists, as musicians, to really express what's really going on in the world, just in the world in general. And it's a responsibility. As a parent myself, I feel extremely responsible to put out something positive for the youth. That's something that I feel very, very strong about. Um, I think ever since I was probably in my early 20s when I was like, yeah, we're not doing radio anymore. So I remember separating myself from that mainstream music, and I wanted to find other kinds of music that was going to be actually uh, I guess conscious and positive. It was hard to find, but it's out there. It's out there, and it's a whole new world out there when it comes to like actual artists that are providing the positive messaging. Just a whole new world, and I think that it impacts tremendously because we actually have the proof. We see it in how it affects the youth, their mentality, um, just the way of life. I think it's important. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, what all I can add to that really is that these pieces of art, if they're like a piece of a painting or like a mural, or if it's a song, or if it's a piece of film that you've created, um, these are empathy builders. They show a story. They tell a story, and they can offer up an authentic representation of somebody else's experience that you don't have any frame of reference for. and therefore kind of learn something and maybe expand your horizons a little bit and maybe expand what perspective and perceptions you're aware of, so you can kind of just be like a little more, in tune with what other people go through. But also art provides this support to the community for the people that need like a little different kind of support, because there's these supports that like are kind of status quo, and then there's art that helps people from like kind of in a lot of cases slipping through the cracks. It gives them purpose, it gives them something to hang on to, something to speak through, and process things that maybe they can't find the words for. So important, and like I guess that's why like I have to do it. It's like it's part of me making sure I stay healthy, is like kind of getting shit out.
Cool. Cloud B, artist Cloud B.
I mean, art and social change are synonymous, to me. Like you can't when the voiceless need a voice, we turn to art. So if there's no art in the movement, we feel that movement isn't being represented. So there's no art to the Proud Boys in Washington, right? There's no art to that. But painting Black Lives Matter on the street, right to the White House, I mean, representatively, that's powerful, right? And like, you can go, for me, it goes farther back than that. Like Nina Simone was walking art, and Strange Fruit is social. Like that's a social conversation, and that is the intertwining in art and social change that really impacts people. Photographers that like yourself, I don't know if you were in the that take pictures of the very protests and marches. Like there's an art form to that, and because they take pictures that resonate with you, they give you images that resonate. There's art and social change are so might as well be the same baby in my mind, when it's done right. I guess I know art can be. We feel art is like an escapism, but like even in that sense, we're like, what is that escape from? What are you trying to escape from, right? So the change is always social in art.
Right. Now,
Nina,
bro.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that makes me think of like Sister Rosetta Tharpe and Big Mama Thornton, people that were women in this male-dominated art form, just being like, let me do this big. Let me like blow the roof off this thing. And every other woman that sat behind a piano to come after Nina knows about Nina, most likely.
Right. And then you got what it was like, even the jazz scene at the time, jazz is the reason weed is the way it is. You know what I'm saying? They've been advocating for weed and jazz music, and that started in those clubs.
Jazz cigarettes.
Hip hop as a whole is a whole social movement. So it's in art, boy. It's in the DNA of art, the social change.
Gotcha. Now, Kiki, you take photos of what? Tell me what you take photos exactly of. Because I know you are a photographer. Now, are you out there taking photos of stuff going on in the streets, out there in real life, or are you more of like an event photographer?
I'm more events. I did more portraits, more like kids stuff. That was kind of my main thing. I was a wedding photographer for about maybe almost 12 years.
Okay.
So that was more my thing, just capturing, love. That was my main focus. But then, for the past couple of years, I just kind of like put it aside a little bit, just to kind of juggle jobs, juggle my 9 to 5s
Right.
and juggle, you know, my child's education and the music thing, you know, because music is really more my I guess it's my bigger passion. I
Right.
mean, we all have lots of passions, but music is more my thing. So, yeah, I've done a couple, you know, just freelance fun stuff. But, you know, it just this recent with the recent events with the protests, I wasn't able to attend any of them uh, just because of my, you know, my child being at home. I wanted to make sure I was home with him. But yeah, I mean, it's something that as a photographer, like I totally feel that like it's there. You have to capture that because it's history. It's literally, you know, we're gonna look back at that and be like, yeah, look at that. I was there. I captured that. It's real. Like it did exist. You know, we see things that happened in the past, and people are like, no, 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 that didn't happen, and we're like, no, yes, it did. You know, it's crazy to think that people actually say things like that today, but that's what they're going to be saying, you know, 20 years from now. So yeah.
Right. Like we have pictures, we have photos, we have proof,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
video.
have proof now. Yeah.
So, so gentlemen, both you guys are musicians and you know write songs and stuff like that. You know, when you guys write songs, like how is that? You know, how where does that come from? Especially when you're talking about like social issues. Mr. Artist Cloud B, I know you definitely have a lot of songs. You know, from the get go, I've been listening to you, of course. You know, and you got that new song that's out, which is awesome. So tell me a little bit more, like what inspires you to like write these songs?
Well, like my inspiration for music really does come from like my own uh interpretation of how the world can be better, right? And and like not being so self-indulgent, because I know like there are artists that are self-indulgent and they try to give you this picture of the world that they don't even believe in, you know? And for me, I believe in an ideal. I believe in like thinking of things like in a way that we don't all think about it, right? So it's like, yeah, we want social change, right? But like, how does that come across? And then can I make that art? You know what I'm saying? Like once I get that thought of like, you know, if we want change, we got to put that same energy back into it, right? So we can't just like march, we can't just like you know, be out in the streets. We have to have actionable items and be direction, right? So I'm like, how can I fit that type of energy into a song? And so like the song that I came up with was, if I'm going to demand that of a protest, if I'm going to demand that of my peers and people that I align myself with, I have to demand that of myself. So the song coming out, same energy. So that's really how that song came about. You know, um, dealing with my own struggles, my own internal shit, and then just visualizing what that looks like and what that feels like to me, and then just kind of writing the song from that space.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I feel that
Yeah,
like
it's
my
peace.
feelings will rise up, kind of like maybe I won't be able to process what my feelings are on a certain thing right away. But with music, sometimes like they rise up and I'm like kind of scraping the cream off when I come up with a song, and it takes that idea or that feeling that I'm having and takes something super personal and then gives it to the community. And then the community does with it whatever they do with the art, because they interpret it and it becomes something for them. And then I think that's why music's pretty magic in that way. Lately, I felt that this has impacted kind of my songwriting, and just kind of looking at what we're going through as a world. Put out one thing during quarantine with my group Local Motive here in Chicago. We usually do more like rhythm and blues, kind of bluesy stuff with horns, but via pandemic, we were like doing online collaborations with other musicians, kind of embodying the name Local Motive. And we did one called Subjection. And my bandmate and my old roommate, Aaron Coleman, he goes by AC. He he did a flow, and it's very much on the nose, very direct about the people need protected from the men we have elected. You know, like that's in the hook. It's definitely not gonna be like a feel good tune when you're like kind of diving into those things, but almost without fail, those really heavy emotions can end up being a song that you're pumped up by, even if it is about some sad shit, right? Because you're trying to get it out there. You're trying to let other people know they're not alone if they're feeling that way. Letting them have something to grab onto.
Okay. I feel that. With things going on the way it is, I don't know, with like, the music world just kind of being put on hold, especially, the local venues and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you guys see music going in the future? I mean, until the stage is coming up.
Nick, I'll say
whoever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say the music. I see music fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like doing our best to fight. And then eventually we'll start with like smaller venues, and like bigger artists will get those smaller venues. Like, we can only have 50, 75 people, but it's Lizzo. So, and they'll be like, yay. And like, they'll sell out, small venues. So it's not that music will be so, I guess, like tight, like that gate will be so small, like, and they'll be like, yeah, come in, but like letting 50 people in at a time. It's just gonna be gatekeepers, just a lot of gatekeeping, and then we'll have to just, adjust like local artists do, local DJs do. We'll probably start doing 50, 60 people underground shit, and where it was started before, because like, fuck the man, you know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna get our stuff out.
Right.
And and on digital aspect, like my other job is a social media manager. So like it's a digital aspect to it too. People are gonna lean into Zoom shows, they're gonna lean into whatever they can, because art connects people and we still gonna want to connect. Like, so art's resilient, music is resilient, and this is probably outside of like, Nazi Germany, silencing motherfuckers. This is probably can I cuss? I didn't even ask, but
cuss.
Right, so like this is probably the best, before it gets better, we'll still fight. That's all. That's how I see it.
I'm looking forward to spring, and I'm looking forward to them spreading around, a little bit of this science, and seeing what happens there. And hopefully, instead of waiting until summertime, spring will hit and it'll be like the new Renaissance, and people will actually, I don't know, there's some complacence in the music scene prior to all of this too, where you got the memes and like the teasing, the playful teasing about like people saying they're gonna come to your show or whatever, and like maybe not supporting you the way that you feel like it just makes sense. But yeah, like I think no one is gonna take concerts and the music community for granted as much once we get beyond whatever this shit is, and get back to a place where we can really like put a bill together and be like, hey, you want to sing a song with us?
Yeah.
Oh wait,
people
go to my microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People experience, bro, is gonna be at an all-time high. Like people are gonna want to experience all they can and be around as many people as they can, because they'll remember this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like when we couldn't, when we were like this and we took shit for granted. So I feel there will be a response that's positive, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay optimistic and just think positive, that maybe by 2022 we'll be able to Just I don't think 2021 is going to be any different. I'm just going to keep it real. Not the way that, at least not in America, not the way that,
Yeah.
America handles things. It's excuse my language, but it's quite a shit show here in this country when it comes to everything. So I think that, just we're gonna have to wait until America gets their shit together and we can finally get back out there and do what we gotta do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, with that, I mean, I'm in St. Louis now, but even the art down here is just amazing. People just, whether it's on restaurants, with the boards up because of the protests and stuff like that, or people out in the streets playing music. When I was in Chicago, I saw that, which was amazing. Especially when everything was down, I was like, this is what music does. This is what art does.
Mhm.
Survives, for sure.
What's that?
It survived.
Yeah. I mean, it keeps on pushing on. Even though certain governments and countries have tried to, cover it up, because it's a movement that's unstoppable.
Yeah, I was gonna say something to Nikki, like Kiki. I'm sorry, Nikki. I keep looking up and seeing Groove and Kiki, and just the end. Anyway, the thing about, she's right though. Like, if we're gonna be honest about like full live concerts, it's not for another year, because Cardi, like, there's large artists talking about booking tours in 2022. They not even talking about 2021.
Right.
So if they ain't,
Can we go to a car show, to the like drive-ins? Have you been to any of those concerts? I've seen them.
you
I
know
haven't
what?
gone to one.
No.
Our club did one of those. So like the club I work for is Laugh Factory Chicago, and we did one of those drive-in Lakeshore events over there on right off the Lakeshore
Planetarium, right?
Yep. And we did like a few shows there with some real nice lineups and like mixture of comedy and music. It was pretty dope.
That's how you, I mean, that's the survival that you're talking about, for sure. Like making it work.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, that works. That definitely works. I've seen that, so I think that's fun. Unfortunately, we have like this freezing cold weather, but I mean, as soon as the weather gets better, I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna be surviving off of for a while.
Yeah.
Question: What is there anything that sticks out to you guys that made you think differently? With social change, whether it was music or art piece or whatever. Like what kind of art had changed your perspective on something, or made you think about, maybe we should do it this way, or or that way, or something that changed your mind or made you think about something.
I mean, when I was first kind of getting my legs here in Chicago, when I had first moved back, playing shows and volunteering with Hope for the Day, I was able to figure out pretty quickly that I wanted to use my platform with my band to speak from stage about Hope for the Day's work, and reminding people it's okay not to be okay, and trying to break silence like that, since they had a really, really cool, like, kind of root based in the music industry. And so then that volunteering also gave me like opportunities to just, like, I don't know, kind of practice being fearless about talking about real stuff, like super openly, super honestly. And I think things that like inspired me to then go further with that was obviously the realities of the past year, but even like a year ago, when I started connecting with different organizations on the South and West Side of Chicago to try and bring Hope for the Day education into more communities around Chicago, and empower more voices, like just like having people that are members of that community talk to those communities. Got to meet people like Christopher Mark and Coffee Hip Hop and Mental Health, and like understanding there's just so much more to do than just talk about mental health. There's like a lot of shit that we gotta addressed and like connect people with, you know, basic needs and stuff. So it was cool to kind of get involved in the community earlier in the pandemic and help support those types of efforts, like the Poverty is Violent food drive, and then have music just be like this kind of thing that just made it less heavy, made it less of like kind of like, oh, we're talking about a bummer thing, people being food insecure. It gave it this life and like this kind of celebration, and like injected that humanity, like where it has this way of lifting it up where it seems manageable, it seems like doable. It gives it like a little glow of hope when you're like dealing with heavy topics and bringing music to the table.
Yeah, art giving people hope.
Yeah,
Cool.
like you said earlier, jazz and hip hop, and those are being genres born out of oppression in Black communities and gay communities, trans communities, all that, and like that spirit just being like really central to good music.
Right. Right.
Music that means something, you know.
Yeah.
Kiki, Cloud B. Cloud B, did you hear the question?
What was the question? The thing crashed. I'm sorry.
What piece of art or music or what's something in your head that kind of stuck out to you, that made an impression on you, you know, about social change?
Kiki, do you want to go? Because I have.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was just hip hop, honestly. Totally changed my whole entire life, honestly. I can really say that Wu-Tang changed my life. Because I learned so much from Wu-Tang. I learned, you know, everything that I practice today, you know, comes from listening to that music very early on in my life. So I was able to learn about, you know, people that were living, you know, similar, maybe like struggling the same way I was struggling. And I didn't really know that because, you know, when you're young, you're kind of like listening to the wrong people or listening to the wrong music. Like I said, radio was trash, you know. So when I first really got into Wu-Tang and got into like all these other underground hip hop artists, that really did change my mind about like the type of lifestyle I wanted to live and what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to, you know, speak to the kids about. I was around a lot of kids back then growing up because I used to teach dance. So I had a lot of, you know, younger kids in my circle. So I would kind of like, hey, you know, like, you know, these are some things that you maybe need to change in your life, you know, stay away from, you know, that crowd or, you know, whatever. But I would say, yeah, hip hop is probably the number one game changer for me, because to this day, that's what I practice now. You know, I'm Muslim now, so you know, I did all my, you know, my lessons. I'm a 5%er, so I kind of like took all of those things and just implemented it in my life, and that's basically been who I am since then. But yeah, definitely hip hop is something that I would say changed my whole entire view. Yeah.
Now you said Wu-Tang. Is there a particular song, or is it just in general Wu-Tang? I remember like
just in general.
Okay, I remember listening to 36 Chambers and it blew my mind. I mean, I was already kind of into the hip hop thing.
Yeah.
You know, my guy kind of brought me into it because my mom wouldn't let me listen to hip hop at first, like many. But yeah, I remember like getting the 36 Chambers from Wu-Tang on like, I don't know, Target or Sam Goody. I don't know what record store I got it from. But like, whoa.
Columbia House.
Yeah, maybe it might have been even Columbia House. For real. You know, you get those cheap CDs in the
right.
of them, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'd go to the store and get CDs every week, and my check would go to CDs. You know, like especially the ones that are on sale for like $10, and go pick up 5 of them. Boom. So, Mr. Cloud Artist Cloud B, or is it Cloud B? What do you go by?
I feel like you could just call me Cloud B, and it wouldn't mean no different. Don't give yourself an aneurysm trying to figure it out. You know, just Cloud's cool, Cloud B's cool, B's cool. Right. Bro also works too. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Right.
But like my inspiration really does come from the same place, but it's like the history of hip hop. Like the history of hip hop is mad crazy, right? So the history of hip hop, like it starts with Kool Herc putting on a birthday for his sister. So hip hop started with a black woman's inspiration. So that's one. That's like the best part that I found out. And then to know that the KRS-One goes across the country talking hip hop, just talking about the history of hip hop, getting cash, checks, like spreading this wonderful, amazing movement of so here's the thing. So the whole thing with Motown, right? So everybody's like hop on Motown. It's because black folks had instruments, right? And then they had these after school programs, and the more they saw that, the more they took away these after school programs. So then they started using vinyls. That's where DJ Kool Herc comes in, gets on the mic, starts emceeing these parties in the boroughs. So now he's doing that. After he does it for his sister, he's just doing it every weekend. Bye. Then you find out who's at these parties. Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's Nas at 16, this is popping off. So he's right there. So then KRS-One is known as a hip hop historian. He goes all over the country talking that shit. Nas is there for that in the beginnings, right? And what is it? A mechanical engineer. I believe it's a mechanical engineer or civil engineer, but from Run DMC. I is one of the members of Run DMC. I don't remember all the specifics, but he was a civil engineer. He came up with the fader. He created the fader. They fought and went in the lawsuit, and he created the fader so that it like now we are gifted with giving people DJs, freestyle, MCs, wordsmiths, b-boys, fashion style. All over the world now. It's all over the world. The inspiration that I feel from hip hop is just mad crazy to me. And like from an artist standpoint, if I'm gonna always be and call myself an artist and call myself a rapper, I'm gonna always remember these points and come from that place, because the artists I love come from that place. And as far as like the way it affects why I feel like social change is such a big thing for me is this song called Mathematics by Mos Def. It's just like it just blows my mind. It's like Mathematics is just up there. It's just one of my favorite damn songs that speaks truth to this day, to the day. So you could put it on right now, listen to it, and you'd be like, oh, he knew. They just say like, oh, he knew all about that. And the beat slaps and
Still resonates,
it's just, you know, my God, it's just, I mean, hip hop as a whole, and I'm on board with her. Like hip hop as a whole is just like another world, man.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much music that still resonates today. You know, Marvin Gaye was going on. I mean, I could go on and on, you know, but that's like one of the songs that sticks out to me. And
sure. That whole album.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to kind of, I was late to the hip hop party, and I had to really do my history for a program we were doing with kids where we were building beats, and I wanted to show them what chopping and lifting was to make the beats. And I had to kind of, you know, grab some clips of Robert Glasper talking about some really good examples, and just getting deep into Nas territory and sharing that with youth and giving them a voice was really cool. And it changed kind of my outlook on social impact with regards to this art form of making music too. So like these youngsters living in residential could, you know, put all their feelings somewhere and make some really powerful stuff out of it rather than like just having to keep it all in. That's social change to me, like real direct impact. And
yeah.
Oh man, I love some of the examples you just listed. Most Def and the stuff with Black Star and
Black Stars. Oh, it's just so crazy. The whole movement is crazy. And then like even with like I saw Chicago techno on your shirt, like techno house, like it's supported by the trans community. The trans community put trans techno house music on the fucking map. And now look at it, man. It's crazy it's crazy how art can like just be a support that like a real catalyst for people. Like that's why I mean if you can't see it, I don't know. Wait, you got no eyes? You ain't feeling nothing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yep.
So true.
Yeah, and even like recently, like I'll say, like This Is America. That video, I mean, that video to this day still is just one of the best damn videos I've ever like. Is from an art standpoint because I've watched it on mute. Like I've just watched that video on mute and just been like, there's so much here.
Yeah.
There's so
There's a
much being
lot.
said without words, and it's amazing. Like it's
Yeah.
incredible. So we're still out here doing it.
Awesome. Well, guys, we are coming close to the end of this awesome show. I'll probably thank you like a billion times before the show's over with. But I want to thank you guys so much for being on here because I respect your guys' views on a lot of things. You know, I mean, I know all you guys pretty well to have you guys on the show. So I want to thank you all for coming on and taking the time. It's awesome just to see you guys' faces, especially now with the COVID. So you know, I guess know what we could go with that. But to end this, what have you guys been doing since the COVID? I mean, I know, but tell the people, you know, what you guys have been doing because I know I talked to you guys on the side outside of this. So, like, what you guys been doing to deal with it? You know what I'm saying? I know you're all artists of different types. You know, music and you know. DJing and stuff like that. But you know, what have you guys been up to?
Yeah, well, it's been real. It's been really real. But for me, I've just been. I know you guys probably hear this a lot from a lot of people, but for me, this year has been definitely a blessing in disguise for me. Even though it's been just, you know, bad things after bad things. One of the positives for me was that I'm home with my kid, which was something that I wasn't able to do a lot. And he's very happy about that. So, yeah, just homeschooling my kid. It's not easy, guys. It's tough. I don't know if you guys have kids that you guys are homeschooling at home with, but yeah, it's really real. But it's been a blessing because I've been able to take the time to teach a lot of the things that I really want to teach my child that he's not going to learn in school. So that gives me a great opportunity to get him into new things, new topics, a lot of social issues that I feel that kids need to learn very, very early on. So I've been just doing that really, not a lot of DJ gigs. I probably did like one or two since COVID, but I do have a couple coming up. I have a couple online streams that I'm going to be doing at two different studios this week. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to just let some steam out with that. But yeah, that's about it. Just really home stuff, school stuff, hitting the books. Yeah, that it's a blessing for me. Like I said, never really had the opportunity to just be home and focus like 100% on that because you know life gets in the way and most of the time we're just working and we don't really have time to just sit down and take a breather. So this has been a blessing for me because I've been able to just take it easy, just stop worrying so much and just do what I got to do, you know.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck because that's me. I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? We're alive, and we have to see that as the true blessing that it is in a year that a lot of people may have lost their lives like without, you know, any undoing of their own. So to be glad that we are here,
Yeah.
work and just yeah, and then having the time to reflect and having the time to create and put out the music that I've put out just recently. I think that for me, it's okay that we just get through this year. I'm calling that a big win. I'm calling that a W. I'm calling that what it needs to be called. There's a lot of people gone. And then, like, you know, and we're not through this, you know? And so right now, in this moment, definitely just happy to be here.
Oh yeah. I've been just rocking sweatpants whenever possible. I take a drive sometimes when I get real pissed off and frustrated about stuff going on. Take a drive to nowhere and turn up the music and shout and yell if I need to, and just really let it out. Because, you know, yeah, it's tough. Like, people's livelihoods have been disrupted in various ways, and it has this domino effect, like with your friends and your relationships, and just what's going on with everybody, and how everybody feels the need to kind of still act like they got everything together. And it's like, nah, it's all right if you don't right now. Like Klaus said, you know, be happy to have your health in whatever shape or form that is at the moment, because a lot of people have not been so fortunate this year. And yeah, just trying to be a little gentler with myself too, because I'll be like, why aren't you doing so much in my head, you know? And then I'll be mad that I kind of got down on myself about it. So it's like, it's a real twisted thing. I think we all deal with it to some degree. So stay out of your head, however you can. Try to reset if you need to, like get in the shower, splash some cold water in your face. I don't know, you know, do a play some fucking games. So yeah,
I agree. That's true. Yeah.
I got a lot of appreciation for you both, all three of you. Thanks for sharing tonight.
No problem. No problem. Last and least, I'm gonna give you guys some time to plug each other's stuff or your guys' stuff. You know, anything you guys got going on, what you got going in the new year, this week, this weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. So Kiki, you said you had some events coming up.
Yeah, just some online streaming, something that everyone's been doing, but I haven't been able to get into. So I'll finally be doing some of that this weekend. And yeah, not really anything crazy. Any plans for the new year? Just trying to stay healthy and stay positive.
And
you
where
guys can find me on Facebook. Facebook or Instagram, Groovin Kiki, or Instagram, La Groovin Kiki.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so I just dropped it in the Facebook comments too. If you want to go get some music, you want to listen to some stuff, Locomotive Band on Facebook and Instagram, and you can support a lot of local artists on Bandcamp to just kind of be more direct about it. You have that more direct impact. If you're worried about, you know, your local artist friends, newest collaborations were quarantine collaborations and dropped on election day. Very, very politically charged tunes. If you want to read something that I wrote, you can find that at literateape.com. It's a blog. It's kind of like an online digital zine. And then if you are looking for resources for mental health, or even just general types of things, legal aid, food relief, housing, whatever, Hope of the Day website, I'll drop in the chat too. So there's a tool there that you can search like based on your zip code, or if you're trying to help somebody else somewhere else. So I'll drop all those in the chat.
And where can they find you on social media?
On social media, if you're looking for my personal page, it's just at Mike Vinopal. looks like Vino Pal, like wine friend, and that'll help you remember.
Gotcha. Cloud B.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this, Mike. This has been really dope. Appreciate it having this conversation with y'all about it. You can find me on Instagram at Cloud is Dope. You can find me on Spotify at Cloud B. We got a new release out called Same Energy on there, and you can find it on anywhere, all those places. But I'm gonna end this with there is a organization called Fair Fight that Stacey Abrams leads, and we need to win Georgia. So if you can donate any dollars to Stacey Abrams Fair Fight, and what she does is get people registered, she gets new voters to come vote. It's exactly how Biden won Georgia just this past election. And if we're looking for any kind of like substantive change from our federal government, we need to have those seats, or Mitch McConnell's going to become even more of a monster. So
yeah, we need
Stacey Abrams, fairfight.com. If you can donate, please do. She's incredibly if there's anything she'll fight for, is democracy. So please.
Yeah, we need our music and our art back, and we need help to these people that are out here.
Right. And we're not going to get it from people that are trying to give millions of dollars to corporations and tell us to suck our thumb. So that ain't going to work.
All right. Well, thank you all again. For real, much appreciated. This is the last show of the year, even though we didn't.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Might as well give this energy to y'all. Kiki, Mike.
Hell yeah.
I took a break just due to everything going on. We had a snowstorm, so I couldn't get to the studio to record another show. And then, the George Floyd happened, and then COVID happened. And
all of these things are simultaneously happening.
Yeah. So
we feel you.
I feel like this is a great way to end the year with the show. I couldn't continue going on with the show without addressing some of the things that was going on in the world. So yeah, I want to thank you guys so much. And hopefully in the new year, see your guys' faces.
That'd be. As a hope. Thank you so much.
You're doing a dope job. You're doing an amazing job with this. I totally support it. I appreciate you having us here, and keep on doing it. I can't wait to see everything else that you're going to be doing with this.
Yeah.
We can't wait to come back. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
We all can't wait to come back.
Yeah. The new year, we're gonna have a lot of more in-depth stuff we're going on with artists and supporting y'all for sure.
Mike, it was the best, man. I was meant to meet you that day. You were meant to help me carry in some shit at the Winter Block Party at the Metro. And it's been so good to know you, man.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here. Well, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night. I'll definitely be talking to you guys before the new year. So much love.
Take care, everybody.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you.
Thank you.